Good morning and welcome back to Mojospresso, a caffeine-inspired shot of inspiration and perspective to help you on your Friday. Okay, in breaking news, Victorian barbers are back. I had my first haircut in 5 months. I was so excited. I could have given him a hug, but I'm not allowed to do that, and he was holding a scissors. Tickets to our final masterclass for 2020 have almost sold out. So if you are keen to attend, please go to mojocrow.com. And a shout out to Ryan Stone, the Wangaratta wizard, turning a big 3-0. Keep living large, my friend, loving your footy and learning about life. And by the way, your sister Steph loves you big time. Okay, I hope you've got an espresso or a magic or a long black or a latte as we kick things off. And to this week's topic, which is around our life purpose and whether it should be created for just one thing or can it be for everything. We get asked a lot whether my life purpose should just be for my professional world or my personal world or my philanthropy world, or couldn't actually encompass my whole world. And the short answer is, if possible, your whole world. And while unlocking it often starts small with one little aspect of your life, the intention of our purpose can hopefully grow and extend and encompass every aspect of our lives. It doesn't have to be one-dimensional or limited to one thing. It can actually be multi-dimensional and unlimited. Yeah. Otherwise, if your purpose is just limited to, say, your employment and you leave that employment, it's effectively saying your life has no purpose anymore, which is nuts because it does. Yeah, it also shouldn't be limited to what you do, but rather why you do it. So if you're an individual or an organization, think more so about why you do what you do. And your purpose can often be found in the answer and the impact you have on others. Richmond Football Club play football, that's what they do, but that's not why they do it. It doesn't define the depth of them. You know, their purpose is connecting to thrive and win. And whether it's connecting to Indigenous communities or their women's program or the working class supporters around Richmond or just the players themselves. Yeah, think about not what you do, but why you do it. In its simplest form, having purpose effectively means having something to live for. You could say it's the biggest goal you could ever possibly have. It's also about doing something for someone else, yeah, to contribute to someone else's life. And the good news is you get to decide who it is you want to do it for and what it is you want to do for them. And remember, you only need one other person or living organism to form a community in which to contribute to. And when you can do that, you have this feeling, I am of use to someone. And when you can say that feeling, I am of use to someone in your everyday life, you start to explore what it feels like to live a purposeful life, which is akin to finding our bliss. Yeah, the best way to win the morning and win the day is with a purpose mindset. And if you don't have one yet, just simply ask, how can I be the best part of someone else's day? Yeah, to serve them, to be interested in them. And that gets us closer to be able to say, I am of use to someone. Yeah, some call it vocation, some call it a calling. Others call it finding meaning in our lives. Viktor Frankl, whose book, Man's Search for Meaning, also the most gifted book I've given away since COVID, said the lesson one can draw from Auschwitz is that those who are oriented towards a meaning to be fulfilled by them in the future were the ones most likely to survive. And he saved 2 people from suicide by orienting them towards finding meaning in the future. For one of them, it was a daughter waiting for him on the other side. And for another, it was research that the world needed him to complete. Yeah. In terms of creating your life purpose, there's 2 really good frameworks that can help you. One's called the Hedgehog Principle and the other's called Ikigai. The Hedgehog Principle was created by Jim Collins in his beautiful book, Good to Great. And it's incredibly simple, as is the hedgehog animal itself, or the echidna, as we say in Australia. And its natural enemy is the fox, which is incredibly smart and cunning. But the fox can never kill the echidna, the hedgehog, because every time it attacks, The hedgehog crawls up in a ball, spikes go out everywhere, the fox cuts its mouth, goes behind the tree and goes, "Okay, how am I going to kill him next time?" And the reason it's so simple is it's just 3 concentric circles with 3 simple questions that you have to answer. You have to answer all 3. The first one is, what is it that I can be best in the world at in the future? The second concentric circle, the second question is, what is it that I'm most passionate about? Or what is it that really excites me about helping others? And the third one is, what's the best way to make $1 out of the questions to 1 and 2? Now, you have to answer all 3 questions, because you might be incredibly passionate about something, but if you're not good at it, you're not going to be successful at it. You might be really good at it, but if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to stick at it, yeah? You might answer both those questions, but if you don't know how to make $1 out of it, it's more of a hobby than a career, yeah, which is often where most artists are at, or musicians are at. They're incredibly passionate and they're incredibly good at it, but there's no demand for that product, yeah? Now, Ikigai is a Japanese framework that's very similar to the Hedgehog Principle, but it adds a 4th concentric circle, a 4th question, which is effectively, does the world need it? Yeah, Ikigai is a Japanese word, by the way. Also a beautiful book that means a reason for being, or doing things that make you feel alive. Other questions that can help you unlock your purpose include, what really excites me about helping others? What did I love to do when I was a kid that really lit me up, that I want to maintain in my adult years? It might be poetry or surfing or playing hide and seek or watching the stars. You want to use that language when you develop your purpose statement. What legacy do I want to leave the world? Or what do I want said about me at my eulogy in terms of my impact on others? Yeah, the Happiness Lab, which is a great podcast, by the way, tells a beautiful story of a pest control man who spent 40 years killing rats. Yeah, but his job gave him a sense of meaning. He gets out of bed and helps the terrified person who can't get out of bed because of the rat in the corner. He spent the last 4 decades calming people down and helping them through their fear. And he'd do it for free because he gets to have a positive impact on someone else's life. My dad ran Sebastian Cleaning Company for many years, which cleans schools, which all 6 kids and a lot of my mates and nieces and nephews all worked in, especially after he passed away. And while cleaning isn't glamorous, especially toilets, creating a better environment to help people learn a cleaner environment, would be the better version of themselves, can be incredibly rewarding and fulfilling and create that sense of contribution. Now, you could say he was just cleaning, but my dad did that everywhere he went. A philosophy to make people feel better about themselves and the world around them. Some simple purpose statements could be to help those who fly a kite imagine a rocket, or to create an environment to help others realize their potential. My first purpose statement was as simple as to help athletes do things better and be better for it. I just defined an athlete as anyone who loves to compete, have fun and play. So you're all athletes. Jim Carrey, the comedian, his purpose statement is to free others from concern, which he did initially through his art and then his comedy and then other business interests. Michael Jordan's was as simple as to have an impact on someone else's life, which was passed down to him from his father. Yeah. About 20 years ago, a few mates that I went to school with were at a pub laughing and discussing the fashion faux pas of the mustache. And then 30 mates later, the first mustache challenge was born. When they decided to do it to change the face of men's health and put a purpose mindset behind it, Movember was born and went on to become the fastest growing charity in the world. Actually starts next week if you're interested. In the stunning book Penguin Bloom, Sam Bloom tells the beautiful story of her life in this horrific holiday accident with her family in Thailand, which left her paralyzed and contemplating suicide, and how finding and caring for a scrawny black and white magpie chick, which had fallen down, was all the motivation she needed to give her life meaning. She said, "I thought I was saving her life, but she was saving mine." They called the magpie Penguin, which helped Sam find purpose in her life, and she learned that no matter how lost or fragile or damaged we feel, accepting the love of others and loving them in return can help make us whole again. Yeah. And remember, there's no finish line. You'll never actually achieve your life purpose, but that's what gets us out of bed in the morning. When you're in a shitty mood or self-absorbed, or your perspective can shift immediately when your purpose mindset kicks in. The courage to be disliked focuses on 3 things: acceptance of self, confidence in others, and contribution to others, so that you can say, I am of value to someone. And that's the goal we're all on. Yeah. Every generation has its challenges. In the 60s, it was conformity. In the 80s, it was materialism. And today it's depth of meaning. Where am I going? Where are we going? Mark Twain said the 2 most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. Yeah. The beautiful Indian parable that we posted last night. When you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice for a life well lived. Okay, that's it for another episode of Mojospresso. As always, thanks for your support. If you've got a question or a topic you'd like us to answer in our last episode of Mojospresso next week, feel free to shoot it through. And until next time, I will love you and leave you and see you on the other side in the soup. Have a great day.